Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be reading only romantic suspense. So I did mention quite a lot recently that I am so obsessed with romantic suspense right now. It has been my subgenre of choice. And so I was like, okay, I'm either going to make a recommendations video or a reading vlog where I'm only reading romantic suspense. And I've been told that both are a good option, but in order for me to be able to recommend you some romantic suspense, I need to read more romantic suspense. So I have a stack of 10 books here that I'm not going to be reading in this video. Well, I don't know, I might, probably not, but I have a stack of 10 books here that I'm not planning to read all 10 during this video, but I am going to be mood reading from these 10 books. So essentially these 10 books are the TBR for the week, and whatever I get to, and whatever I don't. And then hopefully there will be a recommendations video coming to you soon. So if you are not new to my channel, you probably know over the last few videos, I literally cannot shut up about how I'm absolutely loving romantic suspense right now. And with that, I have ordered quite a few romantic suspense books to read from. So we're just gonna kind of go over some of the books and let you know what's on the list and potentially what I could be reading this week. First up, we've got Half-Light Harbor by Samantha Young, and this is the first book in the Scottish Isles series. I've read from Samantha Young before, and I do have another book by her on this list, so I feel like this is a potential for me to get to this week. Next, we've got Tame the Heart by Ava Hunter, and I saw this one on TikTok and I liked the cover, so I did buy this. And I think this is the first book in a series as well. Yes, the Runaway Ranch series. This is book 1 in that series. I think this is a cowboy-esque romantic suspense. Then we've got More Than Nothing by Sophie Hamilton. I have never heard of this author before, but this book did get popped up to me in my recommended, so I figured I would try it out. We've got Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley, and this is probably going to be the one that I start with. This is the 4th book in the Haven Brothers series. It is a series of interconnected standalones that follow these brothers and the town that is being plagued by these suspenseful elements. So I'm excited to read this one, and this is probably going to be the one that I start with. Next up, we've got All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles, and this is a standalone romantic suspense, and I love Catherine Cowles books, so I am super interested in reading this one, and this one is a high contender for it as well. Next, we've got Here With Me by Samantha Young. This is the first book in the Hard Knock series, I believe is the name of it, or the Adair series, the Adair family series. And this also popped up on my recommended, and I am super excited to get into this one. I feel like this one could potentially be a high contender for this week as well. Plus, I really like this cover. Next, we've got Whispers of You by Catherine Cowles. This is the first book in the Lost and Found series. And again, Catherine Cowles, I've literally enjoyed every book that I've read from her, so I'm super excited to get into this series. Then we've got Protecting You by Claire Kingsley, and this one is super short, so I feel like I probably will get to this one this week. But this is the first book in the Bailey Brothers series, and we meet a couple of the Bailey brothers in the Haven Brothers series, so I am interested in reading this and kind of learning a bit more about a few of the characters that we've kind of seen glimpses of in some of the Haven Brothers books. Next up, we've got Captivation Creek, also by Claire Kingsley. This is the 5th book in the Haven Brothers series and the most recent release, and this is the book that I'm most excited for, I think, in this lineup. So I am super excited to get to this one, and there is potential that I will get to this one this week as well. And then finally, we've got Where We Started by Ashley Munoz. This is the first book in the Stone Riders Motorcycle Club series, and I am excited to read this one. I did find this one on TikTok as well, and someone said that this was a good romantic suspense series. So I'm going to be reading as many of these books as I can this week to see if there are any romantic suspense books that I can recommend to you, because I feel like I just need to yap about how I'm feeling about my love for this genre right about now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I will be starting the first book tonight, and like I mentioned, I think I will be starting Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley. So this is the first book that I'm gonna be starting, and so let's get on into it. I am about to go make some dinner right now, and then I will be getting into this first book. So I did want to give a little bit of an update this morning. So it's Monday and I am leaving a little bit later to head to work just because I do have a doctor's appointment this morning. So I'm about to leave here in like 15 minutes or so to head that way, and then I'm gonna head to work. But on my drive to my doctor's appointment and like to work and all of the things, my plan is to continue listening to the audiobook of Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley. So this book is interesting so far. I will say this book feels less like the rest of the series. So I don't know if it's like something with the writing or maybe the plot line that I'm just not like super gelling with at the moment, but I did make it to chapter 12, which is page 92. So I'm about 25% into this book, and so far, like, we're following Luke, and I was not expecting his story. Like, we've met Luke in the previous books, but I guess I just wasn't like super prepared for his story and the like racing storyline that we've got going on. But this is a second chance romance, and it seems like there's no past and present timeline in this, which, you know, if you're not new here, you know this. I love a second chance romance with no past and present, and if that is what this is, then I feel like, you know, there's potential for me to really like this. I will say I'm not super intrigued in the racing aspect. Luke does race illegally. He like does like street racing, but he has been doing like track racing only instead of street racing because he's been trying to get out of street racing. And then we're also following Melanie, and she has gotten a divorce from her husband, and they are like high school sweethearts. Not her and the husband, Luke and Melanie are high school sweethearts, but they broke up, and so she went and got married to some guy. But it seems like there was some sort of like kidnapping attempt that happened to Melanie potentially when she was like younger, I guess. I don't know, like 10 years ago or so, like in her early 20s if I had to guess. And we're also following the point of view of, I guess, the man that attempted to kidnap her. So essentially every once in a while we'll get his POV, and he just got out of jail for like, I think it was like credit card fraud or something, like some sort of fraud charge. And so he's been in jail for 10 years. And in his point of view, like, you'll hear him talk about how there's this one that got away. He doesn't know where she is right now because it's been 10 years since he's been outside, and he wants to go find her, and he's gonna like do what he was meant to do all those years ago because she was the one that got away, and like yada yada. So I'm assuming that whoever this man is, he's going to come to Telecom to try and find Melanie, and I think he's going to start like stalking her and like tormenting her and attempting to kidnap her. And I think Luke is somehow going to obviously end up saving her. And then I think also there's probably going to be something to do with the racing as well. So I'm definitely interested to see. They did mention that there have been some wildfires in the area, so I'm interested to see where we're going to go with that. This book does take place about a year-ish after Temptation Trails, so yeah, that's where we're at in the timeline. But so far I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep reading it. I will say so far I think this one might be my least favorite based off of the beginning, but I definitely want to continue reading because maybe I will, you know, grow to really enjoy it. Because I will say with Temptation Trails, I did like that one, but it did kind of like not really grow on me until closer to the end. So I'm feeling like this one might be around the same type of way, so we'll see. But I'm going to continue reading today, and I definitely am feeling like I can get a pretty big chunk of this read today. I don't think work is going to be too terribly busy today, but I don't know, some of the emails that I read this morning, it might be a little bit busier than I am thinking. So with that, I did want to give that update, let you guys know where I left off in Whispers and Wildfire last night before going to bed, and I will update you probably later today when I get home from work potentially. So it is later now. I have come home from work. I've done my class for the night. I have literally done everything that I need to do. I'm in my pajamas and everything. And I did want to give a reading update that I did finish Whispers and Wildfire by Claire Kingsley. I am rating this book 3 stars. I will say I think this one is my least favorite out of the series so far. This one was like, I don't know. There was just something about the storyline at this one that just did not click with me. I feel like we didn't really get enough information, in my personal opinion, for Melanie's backstory with her ex-husband, and I feel like I would have liked to have seen more with that, and I feel like I would have liked to have seen maybe something transpire with the ex, because he was really only mentioned, like he wasn't actually present in the book. And then the whole like stalker situation, like yeah, okay, that was fine. Had no clue like who from her life it could have been or how they knew her until obviously that was revealed. So I feel like that was a pretty good like plot twist as to like how this person knew Melanie. But I will say the whole like racing aspect to me, like it was fine, but like it didn't really make any sense. Like I feel like it made sense to Luke's character because he worked in this auto body shop and he, you know, was really interested in vintage cars and like restoring cars and things. But I don't know, I feel like it was just kind of used as a way to kind of move the romance forward, which is fine. I don't know, I just feel like it didn't really do anything for me, and I didn't love that like plot line and that storyline for this book. But I still had a good time reading it. It's still that romantic suspense vibes that I am enjoying and wanting to continue reading. So I am happy to have read this and finished this. Even though this is my least favorite in the series, it's still a 3-star book, and I definitely would still recommend the entirety of the series so far, even if this one was my least favorite. But I've literally not given any book in the series less than 3 stars. So still would recommend it, which I know I'm going into the next book in the series, but this is the last book in the series. And at the rate that I'm reading so far, I feel like, you know, I can get quite a few books read. And then too, I think once I'm finished with this series, I'll be able to move on. So I'm excited about that. So the next book that I'm going to be picking up is Captivation Creek, also by Claire Kingsley. This is the 5th book in the Haven Brothers series, and this is the final book that's out. This book literally came out like last week sometime at the time that I'm filming this. And this one is best friends to lovers, and they are colleagues. So it's also a workplace romance. So I'm super excited to get into this one. I feel like this is the one that I've probably been the most excited about since I found out that this was a potential plot line. So I'm super excited to get into this one. I think I will end up starting this one tonight. There is a bit of my project that I am going to work on for a little bit longer, probably for about like 20-ish or so minutes. We'll see. But after that, I definitely plan to sit down with Captivation Creek. I wanted to give an update. I started reading Captivation Creek today and I am enjoying it so far. I am currently on chapter 25, which is page 194. So I'm just over halfway through this book and I am really enjoying it actually. It is Friends to Lovers. We're following Theo and he is a former professional football player who got hurt in his second season and he has come back home to his hometown. And it's been some years since this happened, but now he is a math teacher and the high school football coach. And then we're also following Penelope and she is a art teacher for the high school as well, and they are best friends and they end up becoming roommates because Penelope and her now ex-boyfriend end up breaking up, and so Theo offers to let her move in with him as his roommate. And of course we're giving like a forced proximity situation and they're starting to really kind of realize their feelings for each other and that they're not just platonic feelings, that they're actually like, they're really like into each other. So that is definitely interesting. I will say there's a little bit of like turmoil kind of happening, but I will say this one so far has been the least suspenseful of the books, just because I feel like this one probably is more like mystery, because it seems as if Theo and Penelope are trying to solve what they feel like is a murder mystery, because Penelope went to this guy's like art class one time and so he left all of his students a painting of his when he died, and Penelope ends up finding this note in the back of her painting, and so she thinks that maybe something nefarious has happened to him and that he is actually murdered. So her and Theo decide that they are going to investigate what they think is this murder. We don't know if it's a murder or not, or if he died of natural causes. Like, we literally don't know. So my thing is like, that is like the suspense element, because unless like something comes back around like with her ex, which I mean, I don't really see that happening, which I mean, I guess it could, but unless something comes back around with her ex, this book is not very like suspenseful. It's definitely like the least suspenseful out of the series so far. I feel like after reading the description of the next book too, because I did pre-order it today, that one seems a little bit more suspenseful than this one. So I don't know. So it says, as they dig deeper into the mystery of the artist's death, secrets unravel. Are they searching for a murderer or uncovering the work of a serial killer? So I mean, there's potential for it to definitely get more suspenseful as we go, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking Theo and Penelope and I really like their friendship dynamic. I feel like they're really good friends and I like that. I'm definitely interested in seeing how they're going to continue to explore the feelings that they have for each other. So I am going to keep reading. I'm probably actually getting ready to go to bed here soon. I'm probably about to go take a shower and go to bed because it's 8:42 and I just got home from class not too long ago and I just finished eating dinner. So I think I'm gonna go get ready for bed, go to bed, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow. I definitely see myself finishing Captivation Creek sometime tomorrow. I just finished Captivation Creek by Claire Kingsley and I'm rating this book 3.5 stars. So this book went in a direction that I wasn't really expecting, but I do kind of like the way that it ended up going. I will say it was a bit different from the other books in the series, just because while yes, one of our main characters was a target, they weren't a target the entirety of the book. Like, I feel like in the other books in the series, one of our main characters is targeted like pretty much from the jump, and this one wasn't really like that. Like, it's kind of was, but like it wasn't. So like we didn't realize until like it was happening that one of the main characters was a target, and I feel like I did kind of like that because I felt like it kind of threw us for a loop a bit. And I really liked their friendship. I really like how much time we spent on the friendship before they dived into a relationship. And I will say, I feel like the fact that she was in a relationship before moving in with Theo, and the reason that she did end up moving in with Theo, I feel like it worked for me in this book because you could just tell that she was already had left the relationship. Like her brain had left before her body did, and I feel like you could definitely tell, because I feel like that happens a lot, and I feel like that was really realistic. And so I did enjoy that that was more of like a realistic aspect of her wanting to get out of this relationship, and then also to her and Theo not really jumping into anything straight away, but you could definitely tell that they were for sure crushing on each other and like all of that. But yeah, for the most part, I did really enjoy this, and I am now caught up to all of the books that are out in this series. So we will be pivoting a little bit for the next read. So for this next book that I'm going to be reading, we will be going back to my girl, Miss Catherine Cowles. So I'm going to be reading All the Missing Pieces next, and I'm super excited to get into this one. So in this one, we're following Ridley and Coulter. And Ridley is a true crime podcast host, and Coulter is a sheriff. And I am super excited for this. We did meet Ridley briefly in Across the Vanishing Sky, and so I'm definitely interested to get Ridley's story, and I'm super excited to get into this because I was very intrigued by Ridley when we did meet her, so I'm excited to get her full story. So this is the book that I'm going to be picking up next. So super excited to start this. I will be starting this now. I have been sitting here working on my diamond painting that I've literally been working on since Thanksgiving of last year, and you know, I'm still, it's a Christmas one, but you know, I'm slowly making progress. I probably should not have gotten this big of a one to do my first diamond painting, but I didn't realize it was going to be so big when I ordered it. But anyways, so this is what I've been sitting here doing and listening to the audiobook. I did find the audiobook of All the Missing Pieces for my library, so I will be listening to this. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to work on this diamond painting, but since I have been cleaning out my office, I like not rediscovered it, but like it's in my line of sight again. So now I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we'll see how much longer I end up doing this, but definitely going to be starting this now, and I will update once I have read some of All the Missing Pieces. Just over halfway into All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles, and I'm really enjoying this book, which I had a feeling that I would. I really love Catherine Cowles' writing style, and I like the way that she tells stories. And I think too, I'm really learning that I really enjoy a romantic suspense where the main character is looking for someone or is looking into something that has happened. So I will say, out of the romantic suspense that I've read, definitely one of my favorites has been Across the Vanishing Sky. And I feel like I am really liking this one as well, because the thing that these two books have in common is that our main female character is hunting for someone who has gone missing. And I feel like I am really enjoying that plot point of the story, and I like too that the main male character is helping find the person that they are looking for. And I feel like that is something that I really enjoy in the romantic suspense that I'm reading. So I'm happy that I'm finding like a common denominator in the books that I'm enjoying more. I really am enjoying this genre as a whole, and I will say I have been able to read a few different sort of storylines over the course of me like really diving into this subgenre, but I just feel like there's something about the main character who is looking for their best friend, their sister, you know, whoever that has gone missing, and there's just something about that that I'm really enjoying, and I feel like that is a part of the recipe that makes my perfect romantic suspense. But I am really enjoying this. So we are following Ridley, and her twin sister gets kidnapped the night before their college graduation, and so she has made it her mission to find the person that has kidnapped her sister. And so in doing that, she ends up creating a true crime podcast where she goes around to these different towns looking at cold cases in an attempt to either find missing people and or catch these like killers and things. And so she's been doing this for the last 4 years, and so she has this really successful podcast, and so she ends up going to this town where she feels like the kidnappings all started, and she thinks that it's connected to her sister's case. And there she ends up meeting Emerson, who is the girl that she believes is the first victim of this kidnapper. And because Emerson was able to get away from this person, she thinks that she can go in and potentially see something that they missed and essentially help bring this kidnapper to justice. And Emerson's brother is the sheriff. His name is Colt, and his name is Coulter, but they call him Colt. And Colt is very protective of his sister. He feels like he does not want Emerson talking to Ridley just because he is trying to protect her, and he doesn't really want Ridley kind of bringing up these past traumas. And so he is very prickly towards Ridley at first, but then something happens and he does start to kind of grow on her a little bit, and he starts to kind of like her a little bit. And so it is a romance between the two of them, of course, while they are trying to solve essentially what happened to Colt's sister as well as Ridley's sister. So I'm just enjoying it. I don't know, it's a good time. I like that this one is a standalone as well, which we do see Ridley pop up in some of Catherine Cowles' other books. So I'm definitely excited to have her backstory and to know kind of how she is to be involved in future books in the series, and especially with Dex's book in that series going forward. But I am enjoying this, and I'm super excited to continue reading this. I definitely do see myself finishing this book today. I do have just over 100 pages left, so I am going to continue reading this, and I will probably update again once I have finished all the missing pieces. I finished All of the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles, and I'm rating this book 4 stars. I enjoyed this book quite a lot, and I feel like it has given me a baseline, or I guess not even say given me a baseline, but it has put towards my baseline of what I like in romantic suspense novels, and this one was really good. I feel like one of the things with Catherine Cowles' books is that I feel like her perpetrator is always an unknown to me. I feel like I'm always so shocked by who the actual perpetrator of these like crimes is. Like the person that was actually the kidnapper in this book, I never would have guessed from like a million miles away. And I feel like that is one thing that I love when I read Catherine Cowles' books, is that I'm always shocked. I'm always mouth on the floor, jaw agape. Like I am always shocked, and I really like that about the books that I've read from Catherine Cowles. So I did really enjoy this one. This one is a standalone, so I definitely do recommend this if you're looking for a romantic suspense that's a standalone, that's not a part of a series, which granted a lot of the romantic suspense books that I've read thus far have been interconnected standalones, so you don't necessarily need to read the whole series if you don't want to, and you can honestly like pick up wherever you want. I personally just prefer to read in order, but you know, you can read in whatever order you want. This one, like I said though, is a standalone by itself, so this is literally the only book. I did love that we got mentions of Anson and Dex in this book, so it's honestly Catherine Cowles' world's just connecting, and I love that. So definitely would recommend this if you have been thinking about picking it up. But now that I'm finished with this book, I will be moving on to the next book. And I believe this will be the final book in this video. And that is going to be Here With Me by Samantha Young. So this is honestly, good question. So this is a romantic suspense, and it says, after narrowly escaping death, police officer Robin Penn Halligan leaves behind her life in Boston in search of some answers. Starting with Mac Gilbreth, the Scottish father who abandoned her to pursue his career in private security. To reconnect with Mac, Robin will finally meet a man she's long resented, Lachlan Adair. Okay. Hostility brews between Robin and Lachlan. She thinks the head of the Adair family is high-handed and self-important, and finding closure with Mac is proving more difficult than she ever imagined. Robin would sooner leave Ardnock, but when she discovers Mac is embroiled in a threat against the Adairs and the exclusive members of the estate, she finds she's not ready to give up on her father. Okay. So it's giving like family drama. It's giving family drama. And okay, so we'll see. I feel like this was more of like a cover buy, definitely. Just because I tend to not read the backs of synopses, and I did see this one under the romantic suspense. Like, it was suggested to me and I really liked this cover, so I picked it up. And I've read from Samantha Young before, so I enjoyed her book when I read it previously, so this is what I will be picking up next. So I will update you once I have started Here With Me. I want to say this is my first update on Here With Me by Samantha Young. I am currently just under halfway through. I'm currently on chapter 20, page 243, so just about halfway through. And I will say, I can't say that I'm liking this book as much as some of the other romantic suspense that I've read. I'm feeling like this one is reading more of a crime novel. Like, it feels more of a crime novel than a romantic suspense. Like, I feel like it is kind of more on the slow burn side of things, which is fine. And I don't know if maybe just because it's a little bit on the longer side, but it is definitely giving more slow burn vibes. And it is sort of like, I don't want to say enemies to lovers because that's not really it, but it's more like dislike to lovers essentially. And this book is following Robin, and she is a police officer, or she was before something happens and she decides to quit the police force and move to Scotland to try and reconnect with her father, who she feels like abandoned her when she was younger for this family that he now works for. And so she shows up at this estate that this family owns where her father is working security, and the main male character is being threatened by some person that we don't know, and it's like very like malicious intent almost, and it seems almost as if it's like someone who wants to be in a relationship with Lachlan, and so it's kind of giving like stalker situation. And so because of Robin's background, she is helping to investigate what's going on. And like I said, this definitely is leaning more like a crime novel. It feels like it doesn't feel like it is a romantic suspense, just because I feel like there's not a lot of emphasis on the romance. It's more on the suspense or like the crime aspect of it. And I know that I had recently just said with the last book that I feel like I really enjoy when the main character is looking for someone, and for this one it's just not really working for me for some reason, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the setting or if it's like the characters. I don't think it's the writing style. I feel like the writing style is fine. I'm not hating the writing style or anything. I just feel like this premise of this one just might not be for me. I'm not loving this book. Honestly, I am kind of bored, if we're gonna be like completely honest. Like, I'm halfway through. Like, yeah, there's been some things that have happened, but like, I don't know. And maybe because I'm not like super invested in the relationship between the two of them as well, I feel like that is also kind of a hindrance on this book for me as well, because like I mentioned, the romance is not at the forefront. And I feel like when I'm looking for a romantic suspense, I want it to still be a romance where there's a side plot of suspense elements. Like, yes, while it is a part of the plot, we're still focusing on our main two characters and their romance. I feel like with this, we're kind of focusing a little bit too much on what everybody's got going on individually and not necessarily the romance between the two main characters. And I feel like that's where this book is really starting to lose me. And I've been reading this since Friday. It's Sunday now and I'm only halfway through. So I'm just not really wanting to pick this book up to continue reading it. So I don't necessarily want to DNF it, but I definitely don't think that I will continue on with this series in particular. I just am not having the best time with this story. So, and if I do end up deciding to continue the story, because I know like eventually we'll follow Robin's sister in one book, we'll follow Robin's dad in another book, which also too, that's another thing, because I was looking at who the other books follow, just because I was hoping that this would not be like a series where it's like you're only following the same characters, like it would be interconnected standalones, and that's what it looks like it is. But I feel like the way that Robin's family and the Adair family are going to end up together is a little bit much in my opinion, because so based on reading the descriptions, Robin's sister will end up with Lachlan's brother, and then Robin's dad will end up with Lachlan's sister in the books eventually, like later down the line. And I don't know how I feel about that much intertwining between the two families. Like granted, Robin's dad is not Robin's sister's dad, but I don't know. I feel like the intertwining of like this one family and then like another, and they're like everybody's dating in the two families. Like, I don't know. It just feels a little odd to me. Like, I don't know. Because how is your sister-in-law also your stepmom? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's giving that I'm not liking that. I feel like is a little bit weird to me. So I feel like if I don't finish this book tonight, then I'm probably going to DNF this book, because I was trying to give myself the weekend to read it. I started it on Friday, like I mentioned, and you know, I thought I was going to like it a lot more than I am. And so I just don't know how I'm feeling about continuing it. I feel like if I don't finish it today, then I'll probably just DNF it, because I don't really want to take this book into next week with me. Like, I would rather either finish it tonight or just be done with it. So I am going to probably do a little bit more reading in it, and we'll see. Maybe I can, you know, sit down and really like lock in for a couple hours and just finish it. But yeah, I don't know. Not my favorite of the romantic suspense. So it's the next day now, and I wanted to give the update that I did end up finishing Here With Me last night by Samantha Young, and I'm rating this book 3 stars. I liked it okay. I think I'm definitely interested in continuing on in the series, but I don't think that I will purchase the rest of the books. I am definitely interested to find out about like Reagan and where she's been and what's going on with that situation. So I'm intrigued enough to continue the series, but I definitely don't think that I will purchase the rest of the books. Now, I will say the rest of the series could have a completely different feel than this one, but like I mentioned earlier, this one just felt very much like a crime novel and not like a romantic suspense, and I wasn't exactly looking for a crime novel. So I am definitely interested to see about the next books in the series and kind of if it leans a bit more towards romantic suspense than not. So I will probably end up downloading the ebooks from like Kindle Unlimited or something to read once I decide to continue on with the series. So that is my update for this book, and that is the final update for this vlog. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I will have all my social media linked in the description. If you have made it to this point in the video, leave the castle emoji, because Here With Me was set place mostly at a castle. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.